name is Valene and I'm with Autism, an organization that provides safe spaces for special needs families to create, learn, and engage with the community and their peers. I am excited today to tell you my story. Hopefully some people can resonate, some people can feel it. Yeah, I'm excited. Can you tell?
Can you share a favorite childhood memory that still brings you joy?
I'm from New York. There's a lot of block parties we have, a lot of family parties, and I came across this video the other day, and the young lady was just bringing up the fact that she didn't appreciate those times with the family, and it resonated with me because those are the times that I appreciated. Was just kind of meeting up and nothing really to do or to say, but just to be with each other, play spades and just hang out. And I yearn for that now. I absolutely yearn for that. So those childhood memories, they come back, especially now.
So, what is one of the most meaningful compliments you've received and why did it stand out?
My favorite compliment is my intelligence, more than beauty, of course. However, being smart is powerful. As a Black woman, it's powerful when you need to make decisions at a split of a moment and you need to take into account those around you and the different probabilities and the outcomes that can happen. When you're smart, you can do that and nobody can take that away from you. Your beauty may fade, but your brain is forever. So being smart, being intelligent, when someone gives me that compliment, it means a lot to me. And it means something for my ancestors who weren't able to read or write. And, I'm Harriet Tubman's granddaughter. So in my head, when you tell me I'm smart, it's my ancestors' wildest dreams.
If you can go back in time and be someone else, you were talking about ancestors, so not like a parental figure, but somebody back in time that you would love to learn from and that give you knowledge that you can think of, who would that be?
Harriet Tubman. So I would say Harriet Tubman. Her motto of freedom or death is something I resonate with and I live by. As small as it can be, it's a huge task to pursue happiness, to pursue what you think is considered freedom of mind, freedom of mind mostly, but it is important to have that autonomy where you can make decisions and it's best for you and your family and your community. And I consider that to be freedom because at one time we couldn't. We couldn't make decisions for ourselves. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. We couldn't move how we want to move. And now that we have those options, I don't think that we should let anyone take that away from us. So it's freedom or death. And Harriet Tubman would be who I'll rock with. We'll be freeing slaves together.
Looking back at a pivotal moment in your life that changed your perspective or direction entirely, like what would be?
So I have a son who is on the autism spectrum. And before him, I was wild. No, I was free. I could say free, but I was also sowing my royal oats. I was having fun. I was doing whatever I wanted to do, moving how I wanted to move, travel how I wanted to move. And I didn't think having a child would stop that, but I did believe that it would slow it down. Now, when he was 2 years old, I received his diagnosis of autism, and I realized that the trajectory of our lives would have to change and that the ideas that I had, the visions that I thought we were going to do were going to have to be shifted. I'm not going to say that they were completely gone, but it would have to take some time and some training and some real work on my part in order to prepare him for the life that I had envisioned for us. So that moment that was pivotal for me was when someone gave me a challenge, and the challenge was, here's a child with autism, make it work for you. And that brain that I talked about is definitely what helped, but it was a moment in my life where I knew that there was going to be some change in my world, and it was okay. It's okay. He's 10. My son Mateo is 10.
Who in your life has had the biggest influence on who you are today and how?
Oh, my grandmothers, both of them. I have one grandmother from Panama, immigrant, came to this country, got her master's degree, raised children, single Black woman, got a house in Queens, New York, and made sure that education was the forefront of everything that we did. She's just a wonderful woman and taught me so much about who I want to be and how I want to be with my people. And then I have a second grandmother, and they called her Lady Bird in the streets of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. She's raised so many children. She had a daycare from ninth grade, and she just showed me what it was to push through. She had 5 children living in New York City. And she made it happen. At the end of the day, she made sure that we had our culture. She made sure that we knew that we were strong Black children that could fight for whatever we needed. And we praised the red, the Black, and the green with her. So there was a lot of work on both their parts to create a young Black girl in New York City who was strong and wanted the best for the community, but also wanted the best for herself. So I appreciate them. They both were, well, one is still alive and the other one passed away a couple of years ago, but the one who's still alive, she reminds me every day that I'm strong. She tells me I'm a doctor, I'm the smartest in the family. Okay. That I could do all things. And so I appreciate both of them so much.
It's a misconception people often have of you that's far from the truth.
One misconception of me is that I'm aggressive. Having a New York accent and being from Brooklyn has a tendency to already shake people up when they hear it, but it's so far from the truth. I am a safe space. I provide safe spaces for special needs families, and I provide safe spaces for my families and friends. The whole idea is to come as you are, and I want people to feel that. But sometimes it's rough with this accent. Okay, it's given hustler, but it's not. And so I hope that through my actions, they can see that the love is there, that I have no intent to harm you, hurt you. I want you to come, feel safe in not in my embrace, but feel safe around me, that you can be who you truly are and not feel judged. So I think that that's one of the misconceptions, and it's been happening since a teenager, actually. I have had friends who haven't told me about them being gay or that they are, they feel a certain way. And when they do finally tell me, it's after the fact, and I hate that for them. So I pride myself in letting my friends know early that it's a safe space for them, that they can tell me whatever they got to tell me, because I'm going to tell them. And, it's a rough accent, but it doesn't mean that I'm rough around the edges. I'm such a gushy sweetie pie.
What is your legacy?
My legacy will be that there's change in the disability rights, and special needs families will be able to be in the room where it's happening, Little Hamilton. But if you're in the room where it's happening, decisions are made to affect our families. 1 in 36 children are on the autism spectrum, and it's becoming way more. And we need to make accommodations. We need to make sure that the parents are heard, that there's spaces for them to be in. If there is an event happening, that there's a space that they can go to with their child and still be a part of the community. Cultural events, we can't erase the fact that there's traditions that these children need to learn. So you have to have that accommodation for them. And so I'm hoping that I have people's listening ears now, and that when I do pass, that this is something that will continue, that someone will be in the room where it's happening, and our children will succeed and have independent lives because someone took the time to know, and someone took the time to ask the questions and make it happen for them. So I'm hoping that will be my legacy, that we're in that room.
If your life were a book, what would its title be and why?
Too Much for One Day. That's what it would be called. Too Much for One Day. There's only 24 hours in a day, and I seem to make 48. I would like for it to be double the time. Too Much for One Day. Also the title of something that I wrote when I was younger. It was based on the fact that I had too much going on, and I still do. So too much for one day.
We'd love to see that. If you could go back and give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be, and how do you think it would have changed your course of your life?
Don't spend the refund money from college. Do not spend it. Put it away. Honestly, that would be the biggest thing I would tell myself, is to not spend the money that they give you back at college from the FAFSA and all those things. Imagine if you got held onto it and you utilized it to start your business or to invest or I mean, look at crypto. We wouldn't even, it seemed like some kind of pipe dream, but look at what's happening. If we had just invested $2 or $1, I would never have spent all that money. And I was so happy to get it. Every kid is happy to get the refund check, but what you're spending on is important. Yes, books, of course, and you didn't spend it on books because they gave you extra money for books. At that point, you had the money and you spent it horribly on Pizza Hut and everything else. Instead, we could have put it away and had a business early. Yep.
Good. What does raising the bar mean to you?
Well, I automatically think moving at a higher vibration. I think of if this is your level, that you're going to increase it. You're going to gain knowledge. You're going to continue to work on you, be a better you. And that's what raising the bar sounds like to me. Being around some of the women in Sacramento, I've seen them raise the bar, that it's not just, we're doing just this now, or Sacramento is this small. But we're doing things now. We're having events. We're making sure we're in the room. We're making sure that we are a voice that must be heard, a voting voice. So we've been raising the bar past couple of years. Sacramento's not small change anymore. It's not country bumpkin town, okay? We are doing big things and people are watching us and copying us. So, for instance, autism. Okay.